With Championship Sunday in our near future, it's time we went on the record with how we think these games will go. This first one with Commanders and Eagles. Eagles are favored by 5.5. This one's at 3 p.m. Eastern on Sunday on Fox. Right now, the over-under is set at around 48 points. Looks like it's going to be cold. Not a whole lot of snow expected, though, although we know how that can change. I think this is going to be a great game. I think we're going to see a lot of points. Jayden Daniels and the boys, they've gone over 40 points 4 times this year. We saw it last week. Kid just continues to amaze us with his play. And, you know, the thing that gets me the most about him in the game's biggest moments, none of it bothers him. There's a very specific play from this last game. When you're sitting there watching it, it's cover 0. It's an all-out blitz. They have guys that are unblocked coming right at him. Your hot throw is to the flat. He goes to throw it to the flat. The flat is covered. They've got a guy running down to cover the flat. And so he progresses to number 2 with cover 0 and a guy in his face. Nobody does that. You're not supposed to do that. And he throws a ball to Zach Ertz about 3 steps before he gets out of his route on the corner. Zach Ertz turns around. It's right in the breadbasket. This kid, his accuracy, his poise, we obviously know about his ability to run. And now kind of this, you know, we're worried about Cliff Kingsbury and his offenses and how they've fallen off a cliff in years past. It just seems like they've hit their stride at the right time.
It really does. I mean, I go back to even our game. I can remember, I got the opportunity to sit down with him that week before, leading into our Thursday night football game. And I told y'all when I came back, man, he looked tired and he looked like a guy who'd been a number 1 pick, who's had all this expectations, going through that whole rookie year. Here you are, y'all started hot, y'all are right in this thing. You're surprising everybody. You get a rib injury, you're beat up. And, you remember he kind of had a little stretch there during that time where, obviously the ribs were bothering him. He wasn't running as much. They didn't have as many things in the offense really built around some of the things they did early with him. And you kind of saw a little bit of that rookie lull in his season. And then I kind of, my thing was when you talk about this team and really what they were built on and what was the biggest change of all is that this culture and this atmosphere, and we use that word, but what does that look like? And what it is, it's a self-belief. You've seen multiple clips of guys going, hey, telling people during a game mic'd up, or like conversations they're having with other people, man, it's just different that 5's here now. It's different now. It's different now. You keep hearing this word from all those different guys of the self-belief of what they're capable of is completely changed. And when you have that is something really special that you got to bottle up and keep. And so they make it through that stretch. They get our Thursday night game. That gives you a 10-day window. And then all of a sudden they make it through that stretch and they survive a little bit and they get to their bye week. And I think what's interesting is sometimes we see these teams, the Rams, a week 6 bye. They go 1-4. They get in their bye week. They fix everything. They come out of it. The Eagles started 2-2, go to their bye week, fix everything. People are like, oh, this Eagles team isn't as good as all the talent that's on it. What do? They come out of that bye week and they've looked like the team that we expected them to be with all that talent on their roster since. The Commanders get this late bye in week 14, and really ever since then, week by week, they just be getting better. There's more self-belief. They feel good. They're in a rhythm. They've really started to show what they're capable of again. I think that they're a dangerous team because they believe in themselves. The quarterback is clearly capable of doing all kinds of things. And to your point, that play was great that you brought up. I also think of the one where they bring pressure off the edge, and he doesn't even care about what his reads are. He realizes that he's got a free edge to his right. He literally catches the snap, just starts taking off running, and the DB can't catch him. And he goes and gets yards. And I'm like, this dude he's like, man, when you say, oh, man, somebody plays so free, it's like backyard football. He literally looks like, you know what? Just whatever the game presents, as soon as I catch the football, like, I'm going to do it. And the ball's going to come out fast. I'm going to make quick decisions. My decision-making's always going to be immediate. He doesn't look like he hesitates with one thought during a game, which I think is so impressive for a young player.
Yeah, and I don't know if we're talking about the same play, but there was one. It was pressure off the left, free rusher, and he almost, I don't know if he even thinks about it or if it's just so natural to him at this point, but he almost sets him up with where the guy is running to get him, and then he doesn't have a chance to touch him, and he runs and he takes off. And the other thing that I love, and we made mention of this way earlier in the season, and Lamar's the same way, is you've got all these, outside people saying, oh, you got to slide, you got to do this. He knows how to take and he knows how to avoid hits.
Yep.
He really does. He's done a great job with it all year. One of the plays he got banged up on, he got hit in the back, is when he slid. And I think from that moment on, it was like, I know what I'm doing here. Like, I'm elusive, I'm quick, I know when to get down. I know when I'm taking hits, how to take hits. And then that little thing that he does on the sideline is so cool, where like he just kind of delays for a second and steps out of bounds. Like, oh, this was really easy. I'm just gonna, step out of bounds.
The casual swag right there, as I call it. But I think it is interesting too, Fitz. You see a guy like this have this success as a rookie quarterback, and to a level where nobody really has. You think of the other guys to me that have I'm just trying to think of rookies like Roethlisberger. I think, there's been a couple guys throughout the years, their rookie years, been on great teams, made it to championships. But kind of in all those scenarios, you'd say, oh, man, the defense led that football team. Like, they were a defensive football team, and they just won the moments they needed to. This is the opposite. He's flat out carrying this team as a rookie quarterback.
He was the number 2 pick, which means what? They were horrible the year before. Yeah. Like, they were the second worst team in the league. And it's not like they added a lot of different things. Yeah, they changed a lot organizationally, obviously a new coach, but he's kind of the main piece of what is new. And like you said, he's lifted up everybody. And the other thing I'll say, what makes them very dangerous, is Washington might be the most explosive offense left.
Yep.
Right? I mean, Philly is dang explosive, and Devontae on the outside, and AJ, who, they really haven't had a ton of production lately, and Saquon, the ultimate home run hitter. So you could certainly argue that the Eagles might be more explosive, but Washington's right up there with them. And you saw it with Terry McLaurin catching a screen and taking it to the house. You saw it with De'Ami Brown. They covered his eyes and he still caught the ball down the field. But it's a new guy every week, too, with these guys. It's been really impressive. And then the ultimate weapon in Jayden Daniels. Super excited to watch the game.
Yeah, I know. I think if I had to make a prediction here, I think one of the things that's going to be a huge factor in this game is Sam Cosmi getting hurt. Their right guard for the Commanders. Definitely, their best player up front. He's had an awesome year. He's played great for them. And he was a big part of their success against this Eagles team, because he's going to be the guy that would be matched up with Jalen Carter, who's obviously been unbelievable this year, has had a heck of a year, and really a big part of why Vic Fangio can sit back there and play these shell coverages and do all these things is when he's got guys up front that can stop the run with 4 guys and they can get after the passer. Jalen Carter, his opportunity to have a huge impact in this game, that's a big thing. To lose Sam Cosmi to an ACL. I know they, Dan Quinn shared how sad they were about that, just because the man, the leader he is, and obviously what a great football player he is. But I think that will have impact, especially when you're talking about a defensive coordinator who likes to sit back and make you drive the length of the field anyways. Now for him to have an advantage up front where, Jalen Carter's got a chance to dictate the terms on this game. That to me is different, because remember what we're talking about is you're going to try and man blitz Jayden Daniels, and he's going to be able to run everywhere he wants to away from where those pressures are, or really have an idea of where he's going to go with the ball. It's a little different when you're going to be able to create pressure up the middle and everyone else is sitting around waiting for him to make a mistake or to get out there and tackle him when he gets out on the edges. So I think that creates an advantage for the Eagles there defensively. So I honestly kind of see this as one that the Commanders will keep close, but eventually I think Saquon Barkley, does what he's been doing and runs the football well, and the Eagles hit some explosives this week. I think finally we'll see Hurts and this offense in the passing game. You got to think about it. Snow and wind this past week, the week before with Green Bay, it was kind of nasty weather game, just in the sense of the wind and everything else. I just think you're going to get some of those environments, but I think with no precipitation, we'll see this Eagles offense open up a little bit, and I lean towards the Eagles taking this one home.
Eagles win by how many? You don't even give me a score. Just tell me how many points they're going to win by.
I'm going to go Eagles. I think they're going to win by less than a touchdown, but more than a field goal. So I'm going to put it somewhere in that 4 to 6 range. That's
so exactly what Vegas said. You're just looking at the spread.
I'm probably going to go Eagles by 4.
Okay. The two things, the great equalizers for the Commanders: one, divisional matchup. Now, we saw that, and we talked about it a lot when it was Baltimore and Pittsburgh. That ended up working out. Baltimore was a much better team. And then the second thing, 4th down with the Commanders. My goodness. I don't know if it's an NFL record, but every time they flash those statistics up there,
it's crazy.
It is insane. And I think, they're going for it. Maybe it's, 4th and 1 to 4th and 6 or whatever it is. And it's decent down and distances, but Jayden Daniels, again, it just goes to the narrative. This kid has ice in his veins. And so you go to a game like this where Philly's going to put up points and the Commanders know they're going to have to match them, just like they did in the Detroit game. They're going to have to score a bunch of points to win. They're going to have to score over 30 to win this game for sure. If they do, it's going to be an absolute shootout. I don't want to pick against Philly, though.
Come on, give me your pick. Look, you wouldn't pick 8 weeks ago. Will you pick now? I mean,
yeah,
come on,
I'm going to pick now. I'm going to pick now. I'm going to go Philly by 9.
Wow.
Philly by 9.
Big win. All right.